Just over 1 year ago, I asked Phil Spencer about the idea of retirement. Today, his retirement has been announced.
Xbox head Phil Spencer is set to retire on Monday. What? Phil Spencer retiring. Sarah Bond is out.
Both are out, but who's replacing them is the biggest part of the conversation here. When you learn the part of Microsoft they led and their portfolio, I don't find it to be the most encouraging here.
Microsoft announced that Phil Spencer, the CEO of Microsoft Gaming for 13 years, he had been with the company for 40 plus, I believe, as an engineer in a bunch of different roles. He was retiring. His successor, the second in command, Sarah Bond, was out. She was retiring. Matt Booty was promoted to, I believe, Sarah's role as the head of game studios, I think is what it was. And that Microsoft AI exec Asha Sharma was named as the new ex-boss. Asha has, since been under heavy scrutiny from the internet as people have dove into everything.
I don't know anything about her. I'm up for giving anyone a chance, like, sure, but the optics of this are absolutely abysmal. The guy that joined for the love of gaming is leaving, and the person with meta and AI experience is taking his place.
Yeah.
Like, the optics are just like, it is wild. It is wild. That being said, there's some really interesting stuff coming out about like how viable was the Xbox brand? How much money was it making? Let's think about the projected amount of Game Pass subscriptions they wanted and said they were going to have versus how much you're actually getting. How much did the Call of Duty stuff really mean to all that? Like there's a lot of, also going back to writing on the wall, a lot of writing on the wall that the Xbox brand is not doing great.
Yeah, 100%.
So to have her come in and there's obviously going to be a big shakeup. And so it's going to be interesting to see where that goes. But man, it's tough. It's tough. Like there's a part of me that wants to go, let's give her a chance. Let's see what she has to do. And there's another part of me that goes, this is crazy. Like she's literally just a not gamer, like a non-gamer. She probably doesn't even understand the product and what it is. So she's probably there for specific purposes that have nothing to do with gaming, just making things, soluble, making bottom lines meet.
Yeah.
And that's unfortunate. I don't think that gamers win in that situation when the reins are taken over by somebody who, to put it bluntly, doesn't really have any vested interest in the product, or doesn't really, I don't know about her personal gaming past. Maybe she's been a gamer her whole life and she's just not gotten jobs in gaming. Like maybe there's like a silver lining here. Maybe this is a jump. Maybe she's passionate about gaming and this is her first opportunity to be in gaming. That could be cool. I'd love to hear more of that. But if it does turn out that that's not the case, that it is kind of as corpo as it seems on the veneer, that's wildly unfortunate, especially for all the studios that were picked up in the last few years.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like that's if it does turn out that she is just corpo, like just there to make ends meet, just to make numbers add up, like those companies are in a lot of trouble.
Apparently her Xbox account is like a month old. I saw being passed around in chat. They did like a complete social media scrub from what I could tell. Like it was a newish social media account that she was using, which is never great. She was kind of saying all of the things that you would expect someone who's like, hello, fellow kids.
How do you do, fellow kids?
However, she is younger than everyone on the show. She's 36, so she's very young to be in that role as well.
I was reading over, she did release a welcome letter to the team in anticipation of all this. And I think a lot of people were, of course, concerned about her background in AI and everything. She actually has a line in here directly. As monetization and AI evolve and influence this future, we will not chase short-term efficiency or flood our ecosystem with, quote, soulless AI slop. Games are and always will be art crafted by humans and created with the most innovative technology provided by us. She also, in that same letter, she does make it very clear, like she actually pinged two specific words, and the second one I think is very telling of her promotion. I feel two things at once joining Xbox: humility and urgency. So like they're pretty urgency because gaming is in a period of rapid change and we need to move with clarity and conviction. Also, she has a whole section about dedicated to bringing back the Xbox brand, I guess.
The Xbox brand, yeah.
Yeah.
I think before you kind of I guess think, what is she gonna do? You have to kind of think about what does she need to do, and you start to think about like Phil Spencer's legacy as CEO at that company. And he did some things that were cool and good. He did a lot of things that were like not great. He didn't.
Yep.
I mean, it's not like a shocker to see that he's no longer at the company. Yeah, the last few years at Xbox have been pretty rough. You look at the games coming out of those studios, they haven't had like really, like, what was the biggest game for Xbox in the past decade? I couldn't even tell you. I guess Call of Duty, though that's a studio they bought recently. So like,
and what's even worse there is you can argue like the big pull there was to pull it under the Game Pass umbrella, and that didn't work out. You did not see the huge surge in Game Pass sales that, like, God only knows how they're on the back end kind of justifying all that at this point.
The other thing you got to think about is was Phil like the last bastion between us and kind of Satya, who's the CEO of Microsoft, wanting to push AI everywhere? Like, was he the one stopping the floodgates from happening? And that's why he was let go, because he didn't want to like push all that stuff. I don't know. That's a time will tell situation, because something will most likely change. You don't swap CEOs of a company like that to just continue the same path.
And when you send the new CEO, you know, in saying that she's there because there needs to essentially be urgent course correction. I mean, urgency is not said unless something needs to urgently change.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's also a little indicative of like how they were feeling about Phil. Like, damn, dude. Like, if they felt that they needed to get Phil out of there and urgently change direction with a new meta AI guy, like, that sucks, man. That's pretty bad. The abruptness of him leaving and then the new person coming in saying we need to urgently change direction is not, that makes the whole thing seem very unplanned.
Yeah.
Just like you said. And especially considering how long Phil had been there, man. He deserved, even, again,
40
love him
plus
or hate
years.
him, he's been there 4 decades of his life. You'd think they would give him a little bit of like, have a victory, a small victory lap, maybe just the tiniest one, maybe like a day or 2. Damn. Yeah. That's rough. That's rough. I do hope he writes a book one day. I'd love to know what actually happened. I'd love to know that if this really was normal, like so many people say, or kind of like you think, JP, and I'm kind of in the same boat. I think there was a lot more going on behind the scenes, and I think most likely he was asked to leave in corporate talk. I think he was probably, and you know what? Maybe there is a world where he was brought into a room and been like, dude, we're gonna do all these changes, and he just went, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. Like, you're gonna need to bring in someone else to do that. And they just looked him in the eye and said, okay. And shit, like, if that actually happened, man, I want a movie on Phil. I want to see that scene in a movie of him staring the guy down like, you'll have to fire me. I won't sell out what I've been working on for 40. Well, fine then, Phil, you're out. Oh, my
That's
Lord.
how it should go
Somebody
down.
in chat said, and this is a great, Old Bunker Hill says, I think we can agree this is Xbox's last shot. And I'm gonna be honest with you, Old Bunker Hill. I think for a lot of us, in terms of like what Xbox was, I think Phil leaving is kind of the nail in that coffin. I think whatever is now is gonna be new. This is you could argue the death throes, but I don't really see how this could still be Xbox with how Phil is leaving it. It's just this is gonna be something different. This is gonna be more of an evolution than a continuation, I think.
Yeah. But yeah.
I say evolution, but we'll see.